You can look healthy on the outside and still be rusting away on the inside. Most people never find that out until something serious shows up on a lab report or in an ER. Think about your own routine for a second. Maybe you train. Maybe you eat pretty clean. There's a good chance you even take a handful of supplements you've been told are good for you. And the way you judge whether any of it is working is simple. You look in the mirror. You notice whether you feel okay. You tell yourself, I'm probably fine. That's the health equivalent of closing your eyes while driving and assuming you're still in your lane because the car hasn't crashed yet. When it comes to oxidative stress and antioxidant protection, looks and feelings are the last things to trust. Plenty of lean, gym-going, Instagram-ready people are walking around with antioxidant levels that are dangerously low. They have no idea their cells are being hammered by free radicals. Their DNA is taking hits, and the slow fuse of chronic disease and premature aging is being lit. On the other side, you've got the supplement roulette crowd. They buy whatever is trending online. They stack bottles on the counter. They might even spend hundreds every month. But if you ask them a simple question, can you prove any of this is actually protecting you? Everything falls apart. They can't, because they've never measured a thing. Notice how backwards that is. In every other area of life that matters, you'd never operate on blind faith. If you're serious about training, you track your lifts or your times. If you run a business, you look at numbers every week. If you want to lose weight, you eventually step on a scale or check your body fat. Yet with something as critical as antioxidant protection, the frontline defense against DNA damage, many chronic diseases, and the cellular wear and tear that accelerates aging, most people are still guessing. They assume their multivitamin covers it. They assume 1 or 2 blueberries in a smoothie counts. They assume feeling fine today means they're protected for tomorrow. That's the lie the supplement industry quietly profits from, buying random products without ever knowing if they work. The truth is far simpler and far less glamorous. If you can't test it, you can't trust it. You need a way to objectively measure your antioxidant status, a way to see in black and white whether what you're swallowing, eating, and doing is actually raising your defenses or leaving you exposed. Now, up until very recently, that kind of insight was locked behind expensive blood work, specialist visits, or research labs. Most people weren't going to carve out the time, the money, or the hassle to get that done. So they stayed in the dark and kept guessing. What changes everything is when you can sit down, place your hand on a simple scanner, and in under 30 seconds, get a real-time snapshot of your body's antioxidant levels right through your skin. Not a vibe, not a guess, not a how do you feel questionnaire, an actual measurable score that tells you where you stand. That's the entire reason the Vital Edge Wellness Test Scanner exists. It takes Nobel Prize-based technology that was once confined to labs and puts it in a device you can use in less than a minute. You see a number. You see your current antioxidant status. You walk away knowing whether your lifestyle, diet, and supplements are protecting you or quietly letting oxidative damage stack up. And here's where it gets interesting. When you can measure like that, everything you're already doing suddenly becomes testable. You can see how a change in diet affects your score over the next few weeks. You can see whether that high-potency supplement actually moves your antioxidant levels or leaves your number stuck. You can see why overweight individuals often start out at lower scores and what happens to their antioxidant status as they start making targeted changes. We've even watched one man go from a score of 15,000, a level that screams underprotected, to 66,000 by dialing in his supplementation and habits over time. Same body, same life, but now his cells are playing a very different game. That's the power of objective measurement. Once you see your number, you can stop pretending and start adjusting. Supplements stop being a gamble and become a calibrated tool. Lifestyle and diet changes stop being guesswork and become a strategic way to push that score higher. The Vital Edge Wellness Test Scanner is simply the first step, putting real data in your hands in under a minute so you can finally stop flying blind with your health. Because if you're going to invest in your body, your future, and your longevity, you deserve more than, "I think it's working." You deserve proof.